'cause right now you're the only one.
Hello everybody and welcome to Freaking Effects, where I'm gonna show you today how to make a Vaporwave or aesthetic GIF. For making this you're gonna need After Effects, Photoshop, and also some VHS or old film overlays for making a cooler effect. Now this is a normal difficulty tutorial, not too hard, not too easy, in case you are new to the channel. But if you've been a subscriber of this channel for a while, you'll probably get used to all of the VHS filters and all of this kind of world, so probably this will be something really easy to you because there won't be anything new. So okay, we can head right into it. This is a video, a scene from a thing that we're working on, and the first thing that you have to know is that GIFs often, if you want to upload them to social media like Twitter and so, very often you're not allowed to post files larger than 15 megabytes often. So you shouldn't have a too long video, and this is 10 seconds I think, so we're going to head to the composition settings in order to change that. First of all, I'm going to put all of this to 0, and now we're going to put only 5 seconds long composition. Alright, so the next thing that we have to do is look for a cool frame. I think that this frame looks pretty nice, so we'll head into it. The first thing that I want to tell you is that this is not the only way, obviously, of creating a Vaporwave or aesthetic GIF. There are many different ways. It's all about you getting into After Effects and trying a lot of different things, like putting some PNGs on overlays or Japanese letters over here maybe. And obviously I do recommend always to pre-compose the whole thing if you have added any kind of effects on top of the video, because it's easier to keep everything in order. So we're going to first of all add a new adjustment layer, and we're going to get a curves so that we can give some contrast into it, some color correction. I think something like that looks nice. And don't do exactly as I'm gonna be doing in here. Just keep in mind that I have a footage with a specific light and specific colors, and you will have another footage with another specific colors and specific lighting. So just don't do exactly the same things that I'm gonna be doing. Just keep in mind that this is a reference for you and that you have to use it as a reference, no, as a way of making your video look cooler. We're going now to add also a tint effect, because most of all these Vaporwave things are often in a pink tone. So we're gonna map the black to a bright pink like this one, maybe more close to purple. And we can try maybe putting this mapping of the white to blue, and we're going to put the amount down, something like that. We can even, maybe instead of blue, map it to green, more greenish tone, something like that. And I think that it's not going to look pretty cool for my specific shot because it has a lot of white on it. But if your footage has a lot of black tones, you can add a glow effect and put the radius up and a little bit of intensity down. But for my specific case, it's not looking too good because of all the white that I have in my shot. So I'm just going to delete that. And we can maybe add some saturation to the scene. I'm going to add just a little bit, something like that. And I'm going now to pre-compose this. So we're going to call this color correction. And we're going to make a copy of this duplicate. Now we're going to make the VHS effect of color displacement. So we're going to put this on a color mode, press P for the position, and move it horizontally a little bit. Now we're going to put a fast blur on it. Put the blurriness up and repeat edge pixels. Now you can play around with the opacity if you don't want it to look that bad. Maybe you can put the opacity down or up, something like that. You know, I like to put it all the way up because I like this kind of contrast. Maybe I'm gonna put it a little bit down, more blurriness on it. Something like that is looking nice. Now we're going to pre-compose these two again. We're gonna call this color displacement, and now we're gonna do our RGB split, which is making copies of the layer and getting the shift channels effect. I'm just gonna make 2 copies because I'm just gonna move the green channel. So we're gonna put that in full off, add mode, shift channels to the second one, and put the red full off and blue full off. And I'm just going to scale this up a little bit. Maybe that's too much, maybe 100.5. It looks better. And maybe the shot is too pink. Maybe I should put the tint a little bit lower, something like that. That looks better. Now we're going to pre-compose these two again because as I said, I always like to have everything in each composition. So we're gonna call this RGB split. And now is when the fun comes. I have a folder that I uploaded in my previous tutorials. Is this one called VHS tape, that in case you are new to the channel and you don't have it, is in my very first tutorial, not in my very first video, but in my very first tutorial, in my second video, which is the red giant without plugging effect. And you can find these folders. And these others that I have over here are other folders that I've been downloading and I've been updating to the channel, and so have a look around in my other tutorials if you don't want to be spending time on YouTube, looking for VHS footages and so I'm going to add this backtracking footage. So we're going to head to our folder, which is tape backtracking JPG sequence, import, put it on top, and we're going to interpret footage, main. We're gonna loop it so that we don't have problem with that. We don't have to be duplicating the footage a couple of times. We're going to right click, transform, fit to composition, and we're going to put it on hard light so that we have this bad VHS looking effect. This looks nice. Maybe if you don't want it to look that bad, you can put it to soft light, but I personally prefer it on hard light. Now we can add another one. We can add maybe the vertical slip one. JPG sequence, import, we do the same thing, interpret footage, main, loop it, right click, transform, fit to composition. We can scale it up a little bit, adjust it here, and now we can put it to hard light. And I'm just going to grab the rectangle tool, put it there at the middle more or less, and take the feathering up so that only the part here in the bottom looks like it's worse, because this kind of footages are not pretty well seen in the white. They're much better seen here in the darker areas. So I'm just going to keep it there. Also, I'm gonna put it on the bottom so that especially you can see it here. Well, not now, but you can see that we have noise here, but then it doesn't appear in this part. So I want to keep it there on the bottom. we're going to save it. Make sure that I always say the same thing, make sure that you're always holding control and pressing S, and every single step that you make in your progress, make sure to save it. Now we can add some more footage for making our image look worse. I'm going to add this VHS glitch, and if you want it, you can. If you don't have it, you can look on YouTube for this channel, Christopher Happert. I always like to keep all the names from where I download my footages to give credit and everything, because I always like to have credit when I do cool stuff, and these are people that made some really good stuff. They offer it for free, so we should keep that in consider. So I'm going to add this to our this footage that is looking pretty cool to our shot. I'm going to pre-compose this. You'll see why. Move all the attributes into new composition. We'll call this VHS glitch. And now we're going to add a new adjustment layer. Put it on top of our RGB split pre-composition. And we're gonna get a displacement map and put it on the adjustment layer. We will take the VHS glitch and we will put it both to luminance. Put the value up, and you'll see now that these lines that we can see here that are glitching, I'm just going to move these two. They affect the video. They make this kind of glitching effect, which is looking pretty cool. And now you can play around with it, and you can put this map to screen mode, and you can play around with the opacity, because if you don't pre-compose it, if you just leave this footage in here and you directly play around with the opacity, the displacement map will not detect that good all the contrast and everything, and it will make you it will cause you some problems when making this kind of displacement. But if you pre-composed it, it will just take care about the opacity that is in this pre-composition, and you can play around with the opacity here without caring too much about the effect that it's going to have in the displacement. I don't know if I explained that pretty well, but anyway, sorry about that. English is not my first language, but I do my best. So I'm gonna put this also below these two layers, and I'm going to keep everything like that. So we'll see how this is looking. We can see that it's looking pretty cool by now. It has a lot of filters and stuff on top, that's why it's going that slow. And now you can additionally make some kind of glitching and tracking effects, because this is going to be in loop. So we're going to come over here, go to the very first frame, advance 2 frames, and cut there. Oops. Just make duplicate there. Go to frames and put it there and there. Okay. Now I'm going to duplicate this, and what I'm gonna do is just take the position, go 2 frames forward, and click the position there. I'm gonna go now to the first frame and put it at the middle, because I'm gonna do this tracking effect. And I will do the same thing with the layer below. I'm gonna go to the very first frame, keyframe it, and now I'm gonna go to the frame here, maybe leave a little bit of space like that, so that we have this nice glitching effect. And I'll do the same thing maybe at the end. Duplicate that layer. and put the position maybe a little bit up, and this one over here. And now what we did with that, I'm gonna put the quality to the half so that this renders a little bit faster. What we did with that is that when our GIF ends, instead of just going to the very beginning, it does this kind of glitching effect so that it looks like it's never ending. It's always keeping like that. It glitches and it's the whole time like that. So this looks nice. Now I'm gonna add this play button footage. I'm gonna put it in the very top, scale it up. Use the rectangle tool here and put it to add mode. And put it somewhere over here. I'm gonna look when this finishes around here. So I'm just going to duplicate that and put it here at the beginning. So this is looking pretty nice now, and I think that we can leave it over here. We don't need much more filters. This is the basic idea. You can obviously keep on putting filters on top, but the main idea is this one, and it's already looking pretty nice. So now we're going to render it. For that we have to go to composition, and I do recommend you to add it to the Adobe Media Encoder queue in case you have it. But if you don't, because this is the best way for rendering a video, but if you don't, if you're using a previous version of After Effects and you don't have the Media Encoder, you can just add it to the render queue and just put it to maybe where's it, in QuickTime mode. Play around with format, but I'm going to add it to the Media Encoder queue because for me personally is the best way of rendering. And I'm also gonna be opening Photoshop until it renders. So now we're going to add a file here, and the cool thing about Media Encoder is that you don't have to take care about the format or anything, because it automatically takes the size, the format, and the frames per second, and it exports it on MP4. So just click here and look where you're going to render the video, and whenever you're ready, just click here. Alright, so once you have the video rendered, you have to go into Photoshop and go to File, Import, and Video Frames to Layers. You have to look where your video is. I have it here, and make sure that everything is okay from beginning to end. Make frame animation and click OK. So Photoshop will import your video and put it all into different layers, as you can see here. And you don't have to touch anything of this, because actually only if you put visible one single layer and then put it on invisible back, probably it will screw up the GIF. I don't know why that happens, but just make sure that you don't touch anything at all of what you have in here. So you will have to go to File, Export, Save for Web, Legacy, and now it will appear here all the GIF that you created. But you will see that when it finishes up the processing, you will see here that it appears the estimated size, and it will be real big because at least my image is at full HD. It's at 1080p. Yeah, so this will be 124 megabytes, which is a lot, and I don't think that you will be able to upload that to any kind of website. A thing that I forgot to say is that well, you can keep on adding more filters and more stuff to your image, but very cool thing, especially if you're making a VHS effect, is the unsharp mask. I love the unsharp mask tool because it gives a really realistic VHS filter. So I added to it, and I also added some other filters, but the idea is when you already have this, is that you should try to make your GIF 15 megabytes or lower. So you can come here to the percent. I think that I'm gonna put it to 30% maybe, and wait until it renders. Or if you don't want to put the percent, you can just play around with the pixels, and this will be alright. 13 megabytes. I think that this is okay, so we will save that and click whenever you wanna put it. I will put aesthetic test. Click and save, and then when you go to your folder where you have it, you will see that you already created your GIF that is 15 megabytes or less, and you will be able to upload it to any kind of website. Well, unless you want it to upload it to Facebook. In case you want to upload it to Facebook, I do recommend you this place called Giphy. I don't know how do you pronounce that. And you can just upload it, take it and drop it here. I love the power glove here. And you just put the tags, hello, subscribe, lol, upload GIF. It will upload it, and it will automatically create a link to your to your GIF that it will be shown in real time wherever you share it. So if the link that this is going to give you, you share it from this website on Facebook, it will appear on Facebook, because I don't know why, but Facebook still hasn't the option of uploading animated GIFs. So if you're going to upload it to Twitter, just upload the GIF that you created. If you're going to upload it to Instagram, you have to upload the video, not the GIF. And if you're going to upload it to Facebook, just put it here and share it. And hello, this is my GIF. And it will appear in there. So this was basically it. I hope that you like it, that you enjoyed this tutorial, and you found it helpful. If there's anything else that you would like to know about how to make GIFs or how to make VHS effects or whatever, just let me know in the comments below, and I try to help you and answer you as soon as possible, or make a tutorial if your question looks interesting for me. And I hope that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I hope that I see you in my next tutorial. So see ya!